You know, the last time we were on the show, I think it was 4 or 5 weeks ago. God, how time flies.
I know, when you're having fun.
Yeah. And we showed a film of you doing your hit record, Hell on Wheels.
Yes.
And you were telling me that it was almost 113 degrees. Now you're going to get a taste of what movies are like, and you're going to be doing one, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
When?
I'm hopefully going to do it the beginning of this year, 1980.
You've turned down a lot of films, though, along the way, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Because I keep reading, Cher was offered such and such, said no, Cher was offered this.
They offered, things that I'm glad now that I've turned them down, like King Kong and, things that wouldn't have
You
really...
turned King Kong down?
Uh-huh. And he's a hard guy to turn down.
Yeah. Would have been hot in that uniform anyway.
Yes.
But you turned that down, and you others that are any that were big hits. I love to talk about people.
Actually, no. All of the ones that have been done were not big hits. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Do you think you'll like pictures?
I don't know if I'll actually like making them, because I know from doing TV that it's hurry up and wait, and you sit there and it's real boring, and it's not like when you see the picture and it's done in sequence, and it's like it's really, you have to really know how to work doing it. It's work. It's not like being on stage, so you go out there, you give it to them, everyone enjoys it or they don't enjoy it, but it's right away.
Yeah.
But I really
what are you going to be doing? Why did you suddenly decide to do a movie? The story has to be right, or you would have...
Well, when I was 11 years old, I saw a film called The Enchanted Cottage. And then about 5 or 6 years ago, I optioned it from this man, and I sold the idea to this wonderful man at Universal, Tom Mount, and so he is the only one that actually believed in it. And I honestly hope that it's a success because of him, because I would hope that he will be able to say, because it's, how famous that is in Hollywood, when everyone tries and tries. Like, it took him 17 years to make Cuckoo's Nest. Nobody wanted the property.
That's right.
So there's, a lot of stories like that, and I hope that this turns out to be one of them.
How do you go about optioning a book that's been around for that long?
Well, you just go to whoever has this was the film. You go to whoever owns the rights to it, and then you decide on a price, and then take it for so many years until you can try and get out of it, out from underneath it.
Didn't Robert Young do the original Enchanted Cottage?
And Dorothy McGuire, yes.
Yeah. You didn't bring Trigger with you today, did you?
No.
I heard a horse backstage. Ever since that quake, every time I hear a sound, I go...
I didn't feel that.
Maybe last time you were here, we had a tremor while you were on the show.
I know, but I didn't feel it.
I just thought it was you. I thought that's the way you made men feel.
I know.
We had a great week with you when you co-hosted.
Wasn't it wonderful?
What kind of reaction did you get from that?
I got absolutely wonderful reaction. It's so nice for me to do this show. I get a chance to talk, because in between doing this show and a few others, actually there's only one other show that's good for me to do, and people hear me talk, and we just act normal. In between that, there are so many covers of Star that I have nothing to do with, and really kind of horrible stories that they're not really awful, but they're kind of trashy, and people kind of forget who I am. They get this idea of this crazy woman running around doing all kinds of bizarre stuff. Not that I don't do bizarre things. I just don't do everything, because otherwise I'd be in a home.
Have you got a roller rink yet?
No, I don't.
There was talk about, somebody said you had a roller rink.
No, the one out in the valley, which was kind of it's the one that I started. That's
where we taped with you.
Yes,
right?
yes. And now they built that really nice one in Hollywood, but I think it's having difficulties.
You know what I love to do in this business? I love takes. I love genuine takes that you get from people. You get the best and the funniest takes from just people. And when Elijah was on the show,
yes,
we brought Mr. Rogers on the show, whom he adores, okay? And when kids see somebody that they've only seen on television, they look at you like you're from another planet.
I know.
And he just went...
You know what the bizarre thing is? I know you're going to find this true. Your own children never think you're anything.
That's true.
I remember when Sonny and I were doing the Sonny and Cher show, and Chastity was in love with, well, at the time, she was so young, she called him Gong Combo, but it was Glenn Campbell. She was crazy about Glenn Campbell. And also Carol Burnett. And I took her one night to meet Carol Burnett. We were all filming at the same time, and it was like, oh, you're so wonderful. You have a TV show, and I'm going, Chas, You know, I mean, we're
We
next
do,
door,
too.
you know. She's going, but it's not the same. She's so wonderful, and she's so, you know.
And when they're a certain age, they're not at all impressed. And then suddenly, like in a day, they go to school and somebody says, hey, your mother is Cher.
Or Chess has a lot of interesting, her friend, like this one girl came up and she said, you know, a lot of people hate your mother, but I don't.
And she probably thought she was saying something wonderful, right?
No, Chess told me about this one particular girl. They happen to be friends now, but Chess said, you know, if you, and she said something like, she said, you know, your mother sings a very strange song. She's telling men that she wants them to take her home in that new song, Take Me Home. Chess, she said, that doesn't mean that. Oh, you're so stupid. Then Chess said, you know, if you say another bad thing about my mother, I'm going to knock your teeth down your throat. And they became
And then you
friends.
wonder where she got
yes,
that.
No, I know where she
that
gets
line,
it.
I'm going to punch her.
Yes.
Yeah. I read somewhere that you don't give a blank about clothes. And I left the blank.
I know what it is.
Yeah. But are you putting us all on, or do you really mean that you don't care about clothes?
It's strange.
Because you got all those wonderful Bob
I'll tell you
Mackie
something,
things.
yes. Usually what I go around in are these jeans. I had another pair that were my favorites, and they got lost in the cleaners in New York,
gosh.
which killed me. I went to the cleaners and said, I'll give you $500 if you find my jeans. And I kept bothering him and bothering him. Finally, he said, lady, don't you think I'd like to make $500 for a lousy pair of jeans?
He got $750 for them, I
Right.
guarantee.
He said, someone probably stole them. He said, because they were in, he said, jeans get stolen more than anything else when they're nice and broken in. I mean, it taken me 2 years to get them just where I wanted them, you know?
What do you do to break them in? Do you
I just wear them.
do kid now do you now I have heard though that people actually wash them while they're on their body and let them dry.
Sometimes that's good.
Kids
but-
do that, don't
yeah,
they?
you wash them or put them put them on the end of a car and drive through the mud, and there's all kinds of different things.
You're kidding me.
No. But I belong to a select group of people that only believe that you should pay $15 for your jeans, because these are the old-fashioned ones. Me and the president, they're the old-fashioned Levi Strauss
They got buttons
button-up ones.
yeah.
The original kind. But about the clothes, I know that's a real interesting thing. For myself, I don't care so much about clothes. I mean, I would rather go around and I have one pair of shoes that I've had that I know you've seen me in, the real weird Moroccan boots.
That's right, I have.
I paid $25 for them, like 1970 when we first started doing the television, 1971. It's just that when I was a little girl, no one ever paid any attention to me until I met Sonny, and I started dressing differently. So I'm sure in my mind, I must associate people paying attention to me with my clothes.
Sure.
And so, to me, I'm sure that's why, because I buy lots of stuff and I don't wear lots of stuff.
Are your
you know?
tastes as outrageous as they seem, or do people advise you to wear outrageous things?
No, my tastes are just ridiculous.
Are they?
Yes. I never feel bad in anything that I wear. It's like clothes on one hand are a lot of fun, but it's not really you. I mean, it doesn't hold that much importance
right.
to me. I can wear anything and I feel comfortable in anything.
I love the quote in People magazine about, you said what you see up here may look like an adult, but it's really a child.
On long legs.
Yeah,
on very long legs.
Yeah, explain that.
I don't know. It's like one of my grandmothers is like 78 or 79 years old. Oh, God, she's probably going to have a heart attack that I tell her. But sorry. Anyway, so she's...
Yeah, because she doesn't look that old.
No.
I'll tell us how it is.
And I said, how old do you feel? And she said, it's real weird. I feel like I'm about 15 years old. She said, I know that I'm older than that. She said, but I've never changed the way I feel since I was 15 years old. And so...
Your mother's that way, too.
Yes, she is.
Your mother's very young looking.
And she thinks very young,
Sure she
too.
does.
But I, on the other hand, and I'm very immature. I haven't changed since I was 9 years old. I still feel about the same.
We don't want her to change, do we? No. We want her to go up. We have to pause for one of those messages, but when we come back, we're going to get Cher to sing for us, okay? Right at the...